Due to content ID, the song you have come to associate with Sushi Bites, Futarino Seaside, can no longer be used. Unfortunately, we have found a solution to this problem. Please enjoy.
Ooh.
Welcome to Sushi Bites. It's been a little while since I've done an episode of Sushi Bites that's off the cuff. Normally I would write a script, but I just feel like this is a game that deserves an off-the-cuff review. This is Neptunia, Riders vs. Dogoos. And it is a game that is basically incomplete, so therefore this review will be incomplete. I feel like it's fitting. Full disclosure, I received a copy of this game from the publisher, so thank you very much, Idea Factory, and thank you very much, Keymailer, for the opportunity. I have to disclose this, not just as a legal requirement, but also because I feel like if you have the context for why I'm reviewing this game, then that'll give you the information you need to make an educated decision on whether or not you want to purchase the game. So far, this game has been released on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch. The PC version is expected sometime this year on Steam, but there hasn't been any word yet. I would assume that it won't come, because Steam has been very vicious towards anime games recently, especially anime games with young-looking protagonists. Maybe don't keep your hopes up for a Steam version. Maybe just keep an eye on the situation, because I suspect there will probably be some kind of drama related to the Steam release. There always is. In this game, you play as Azume, who I was not familiar with. It appears that she was introduced in Mega Dimension Neptunia 7, which I've not played. There's a lot of these games that I have not played, and I'm not familiar with the idea of there being a young Neptune and an older Neptune, or a big Nep. So there are a few things about this game that is weird to me because I don't have the context, but I don't feel like you need to have a great knowledge of Neptunia to follow this, because the story is rather inconsequential and what's there is relatively easy to follow. So you play as this Azume Tenoboshi. She is dancing around with a bunch of Dogoos and she's really happy, and then all of a sudden she realizes, hold on, I don't like Dogoos. Dogoos suck. Why am I under the influence of the Dogoos? Why am I praising Dogoos and worshipping Dogoos? This is strange. Also, why can I ride a motorcycle? So she has no memories, she has no idea of how she learned to ride a motorcycle, and she has no idea where she is or why she's suddenly infatuated with Dogoos. As it turns out, she has amnesia, and so do the rest of the Neptunia team, so the characters I'm more familiar with, like Neptune, Noir, Blanc, they all have amnesia as well. They have no idea what's going on, and basically the story kind of reminds me of how Fire Emblem Warriors works, where characters meet other characters and they immediately hate those characters and don't get on with those characters, and then they realize that they're all on the same page and they shouldn't be fighting. The majority of Fire Emblem Warriors story is like that, and the majority of Riders vs. Dogoos story is like that. Once the characters realize, oh no, we're all on the same page, the fighting stops. I guess spoilers for what little story there is in this game. It turns out that Azume has developed this motorcycle game. It's incomplete, but she was developing this game, and the Dogoos inside the game decided that they wanted to be treated better than just being minor enemies that get killed for experience points. So they wrote their own sort of virus code that they instigated as soon as the playtest was active, wiping the memory of all the goddesses inside the game and forcing them to love Dogoos. However, because Azume developed the game and has admin privileges, she was able to break free of this brainwashing spell. So how does the game play? I would describe this as being basically Katamari Damacy on a motorcycle. So if you've played Beautiful Katamari's Versus mode, which big props to you, I played it back in the day on Xbox 360 and really got into it big time. So if you've played the online multiplayer for Beautiful Katamari, you know exactly what the gameplay of this is going to be like. Just imagine it on a motorcycle. So you can drive around and drive into Dogoos, and you have to collect them. And there will be a target in a stage, like 100 Dogoos, 150 Dogoos, and you have to be the first person to collect that many Dogoos, either on your own or as part of a two-person team. Together, you have to reach that target of 100, 150, whatever Dogoos. And each Dogoo has a different ability or strength. There's Dogoos that can make you jump high. There's Dogoos that can only be collected if you are under the effect of another Dogoo. There are Dogoos that allow you to open locked doors. And so there's a little bit of tactics involved in which Dogoos you collect and which Dogoos you go past. There are some Dogoos that decrease your total speed, and if you pick them up, you basically have to try and shoot them at the opponent to reduce their top speed. Otherwise, you are going to be affected while you're carrying them. So there is like a trade-off. Do I collect all these Dogoos that mess up my top speed to get more Dogoos quickly, or do I throw these at my enemies to slow them down? You've got a basic attack, like a melee attack, that you can do by driving into the opponent and pressing the attack button. You can also shoot a ranged attack. Both of these and your dash take a while to recharge, and the speed at which you recharge is affected by the stats of your motorcycle. You can customize your motorcycle body, tires, and muffler, and these affect the stats for the bike. For example, how wide the range is around your bike that can pick up Dogoos, how strong your attack is, how quickly it recovers, that sort of thing. Attacking enemies makes them drop Dogoos, and you collect the Dogoos automatically. So basically, the gameplay is drive around, collect Dogoos, beat up the enemies to collect their Dogoos, first one to the target wins. There are 15 stages in the game. There's 5 worlds of 3 stages each. That's it. When I say this game is incomplete, I mean it. And not just because in the story it's incomplete. Azume hasn't finished developing the game, she's just doing a playtest of an in-progress game. So not only is it incomplete from a story point of view, it's pretty much incomplete from a gameplay point of view as well. There is a little bit of replay value in each stage having 3 goals. Beating the stage on your own without an AI partner, and beating the stage within a time limit. And all you get for doing this is, I assume, trophies on the PS4, PS5 version, because I've got the Switch version here as part of this opportunity. And it unlocks things in the exchange shop, mostly bike parts and customization parts for you to customize your characters. I love how scuffed the character customization is. A lot of customization modes in video games will say, oh, you can't wear this hat and this accessory at the same time because they'll clip. Whereas Neptunia doesn't care. You can wear 3 hats. You can wear 3 hats and have an Eldritch Abomination on the top of your head. They don't care. And I love that about it. But it also means you end up with accessories that just look bad on certain characters because their hair just goes through the hat. It would be nice to be able to adjust the positioning of the items, so to move them up or down or forwards or back, just to maybe cover up some of the issues, or just to change the scale of the hat or something, just so it can go over certain hair elements. They don't let you do that, which is a little bit disappointing. There's no customization for the character's hair color, eye color, etc. It would be nice for that. And I have played the game through from start to finish, and I have done all the goals for the first 2 worlds, and there are no other clothing options so far in terms of character outfits, except for the base ones in the game. I'm worried that the only outfits available are going to be DLCs, and there's nothing that you can unlock within the game, which is a little bit disappointing, because games like Neptunia are great for letting you have multiple skins that you can equip. They all have like different gorgeous like visual designs. It's disappointing that I can't, say, put Blanc in like a bright green outfit or something like that, or being able to change Noir's ponytails to purple and give her red eyes like a certain channel mascot. The voice acting is available in Japanese and English. I know some of these Neptunia games are released without the English dialogue for whatever reason. It's nice that this one has the full English available from the get-go, and the script may be a little bit dull, but the voice acting is on par with what I expect out of the Neptunia games. Idea Factory are known as Kusoge Factory by a lot of Japanese players. It goes without saying that Idea Factory's games are not the most amazing games out there, but they are gamey games. Like, you're not going to get the super cinematic experience out of an Idea Factory game. You're going to get something weird, unusual, strange, and I think that is what Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoo's greatest strength is, that it's just weird. I've not really played another game like it. It's such a strange combination of gameplay styles. What the game really needs is just more content, more levels, more missions, more stuff to do, because once the story is done, the only thing really left is to get better scores on earlier levels, get more medals, and ultimately buy every customization item in the shop. That's basically what it boils down to. I'm hoping that if Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoos does come to Steam, or GOG, or some sort of PC marketplace, that they can get that swimsuit DLC, which was unavailable in the Northern American release, because it's stupid to me that we're still worried about that shit when there's so much more going on in the world, that we're worried about anime characters in swimsuits. Give me a fucking break. We're all adults, okay? Even though Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoos is everyone 10 plus rated, 10-year-olds aren't playing Neptunia. It's all people my age. It's all people in their late 20s and early 30s. That's the people playing Neptunia games. Right? Do the right thing, Idea Factory, and release the PC version with the swimsuit DLC. In terms of performance, the Nintendo Switch version, I was expecting it to run like garbage, because Dusk Diver 2, as a publisher opportunity, that game ran really poorly on Nintendo Switch, so I was expecting the same poor performance. Nope. Even though it seems to target 30 frames overall, Neptunia Riders vs. Dogoos pretty much solid. I did have, I think it was 3 crashes over the course of my playtime, which is not great. The game crashed twice, I believe, on loading a stage, and once in a stage, just as I was driving around. If that can be addressed in a future patch, maybe find out. If it's a freeze like that that's happening after a while, that says to me that it's a memory leak of some kind. As always, those are the trickiest things to find. When you are looking to squash a bug, those are usually the trickiest bug to squash. But I have faith that Idea Factory and Compile Heart will be able to find that memory leak, I assume it's a memory leak, and crush it, so that the game doesn't crash as often on Switch. I don't know about the other platforms. I suspect that PS5 and PS4 probably don't have that issue, but Switch did crash for me a couple of times. Apart from that, the performance of the game itself is about what you would expect the Switch to be able to do, but better than what I was expecting. I do wonder if the game will run any better on the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2. If it requires some sort of patch to enable those features, then I hope that Compile Heart and Idea Factory do bring out a Switch 2 patch just to make the game's performance even better on the next iteration of the Switch hardware. A couple of other things. There is a mode where you can listen to the game's music tracks and you can view previous cutscenes, and there is a sort of somewhat tacked on photo mode but it's very limited, and there's not a great deal of animations or poses in that mode. Basically just walking, running, standing. There's not even a jump pose. I was hoping to take some sneaky panchira. There was no way to do that, which is very disappointing. Shame on you, Idea Factory. Come on, do better. But yeah, I think that's about it, because there is so very little content in this game, and it feels so incomplete and basic. It's very difficult to find things to say about the game. So I think we're going to have to cut this off-the-cuff Sushi Bites episode here. Neptunia Riders versus Dogoos is a recommendation on sale. I would hold out hope and pray for the PC version, which is due out at some point this year. Fingers crossed that it will come out on Steam unscathed, which in this day and age is proving less and less likely. If not, a GOG.com release would not go amiss. And please, bring that swimsuit content over. Alright? I'm begging you. I need it. It's funny that they block swimsuit content, and yet there is a Lady Dogoo in this game with a bright red swimsuit and knockers on full display. Everybody 10+. Who knows how they do it, eh? The ESRB works in mysterious ways. I've been Escape Route British. You've been watching Sushi Bites. But you already knew that. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Visit www.escaperoutebritish.com and go buy a t-shirt. Buy 2 t-shirts. Until next time, if we live that long.